Kim Kardashian has finally come out as a Trump supporter, and I'm so happy for her because now we can go back to not liking her.
Yes, for some reason, a lot of people are upset right now because Kim Kardashian, one of the least relatable billionaire celebrities, has once again reminded everyone that she will never be relatable by coming out in a subtle PR move of support for Elanya and the Orange Nightmare. And I want to talk about this today, not because I care at all what the Kardashians do, but I think we're about to see a subtle influx of other unrelatable billionaires starting to slowly come out in support for them. Simply because the Orange Nightmare Gritty is stacking his cabinet with the Nightmare rotation. He is building a supervillain oligarchy that's going to directly only benefit the richest people in this country and squish everyone else who sits beneath them, which makes perfect sense as why the Kardashians might be excited by this. Because they have historically shown us time and time again that money triumphs everything for them. But let's do an extremely fast breakdown so far because this is really like a Marvel supervillain nightmare of a situation. Imagine in their free time, many of them just do ducktail flips into pools filled with gold coins. For starters, you have your group of people who kind of completely failed at their job, but they just kissed up to Don hard enough to get this one. We won't get into those. But next on the list, we have people he clearly saw on TV or he's picking because he thinks like the public are going to get excited about them. But they're probably still completely unqualified, such as RFK Jr. I don't think I need to get into how that man should never be within miles of the nearest hospital, let alone the Secretary of Health and Human Services. He picked Dr. Oz, a TV doctor. Got Pete Hegseth and Sean Duffy, again, Fox News TV people. Although Sean has the added bonus of being on MTV reality television shows. Linda McMahon for the Education Secretary, who literally founded WWE Wrestling and herself was a former wrestler. I'm sure the kids can learn a lot from her. Now, those people on the list are somehow less concerning because next up you have the group of people who are just directly tied into big oil and will be benefiting from that. For example, several of them have just repeatedly voted against clean water and clean air so that they can keep making money. That is insane. Interesting mention for Brendan Carr that they won on the FCC. If you're not familiar with what that is, you might remember it in that Eminem song where he says the FCC won't let me be. Now, he claims that he doesn't like regulations and he wants to get rid of them, but he also wants to regulate, aka get rid of left-leaning news stations such as NBC and CBS. Do you hear how those two things can't exist at once without being a flaming hypocrite? Gotta love it. But maybe most concerningly, we have the literal billionaire businessmen like Howard Lutnick and Elanya. Howard is a Wall Street exec, and his companies are involved in nearly every sector of the U.S. economy, which means this man will literally just be directly working to benefit himself and his companies. We already know that Elanya is out here just to hype up his own ego. Let's not forget the bestie relationship between JD and Peter Thiel, who is the Silicon Valley fat cat billionaire that has pretty much entirely backed JD and got him to this point so that he can keep him in his pocket. So yeah, it doesn't shock me at all that out-of-touch billionaires that lack empathy are getting really excited about this cabinet creation. Because it's literally a bunch of rich people coming together and giving more rich people power so that for the next couple of years they can just step on everyone else and get even richer. Classic Kim Kardashian stuff.